Hi everyone, this is Lady T with your Virgo magical attraction reading for April 2023. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you for your likes, shares, subscribes, comments, anything at all that you do to support the channel. And really, my only hope for the channel is that I'm putting out something that is helpful to you in some way. That's all I really care about. So let's go ahead and get into your messages, Virgo. Center energy. Sorry, I just had to run up some stairs, so I apologize. Okay. The first one is the Hierophant. So to me, this is about taking authority, control, having some discipline in your life as you move forward. Perhaps going into a higher level commitment, because the Hierophant is, usually about an upper level. Okay. In addition to many things, but clarifiers, we have Six of Pentacles, equal give and take, with strength, and then the Chariot. So perhaps there is balance coming in with this equal give and take, that's going to require you to use your strength, because something is coming towards you quickly. And again, it could be this authority too, because this Hierophant could be somebody else coming towards you, who wants to give this equal give and take, after they've gained the strength to move towards you. So that's what I'm getting there. Crowning energy, which I thought was sort of interesting. Six of Pentacles was in reverse, so maybe not giving to a situation at this time, for you, in which has you all up in your head, or somebody didn't give to this situation before, and they're all up in their head in a mental prison because of it, feeling some regret, because the cycle is closing out, and they realize, perhaps not giving to this situation has really caused a problem. The challenge, or not, I don't know, it's not a challenge position, but the card itself is a challenge, Page of Cups. So this is an apology that's in the challenge position, okay? Usually the Page of Cups comes in and gives the apology, or says something, or does something, but that's in the challenge position. So it makes me believe that this is a challenge for the person or for you to do this, because and maybe that's the devil, the fear of the situation, or the addictions, or whatever caused this devil to also be in a challenge position, and has caused some great wounding in the situation, because the Nine of Wands is somebody who's been through a lot, somebody who's been wounded. They're still standing, but they've still been through a lot, and so that maybe that's why they can't at this time, really give this apology. Now, for what led up to this, we have Temperance. So there wasn't any balance here. There needs to be some healing here. And the Queen of Pentacles could be either you or the other person. So the Queen of Pentacles knows there needs to be some balance here, some rest perhaps, and so that they can come back into balance, or the person coming towards you. I'm not totally sure which one. And in the outcome, we have the Queen of Wands in the challenge position. So the Queen of Wands is normally somebody who's passionate, creative, and so maybe that's the challenge at this time, not feeling creative, not feeling passionate. You've got the Fool card clarifying with the Ten of Cups. You've got the Wheel of Fortune. You've got the Eight of Wands, and you have the Ace of Wands in reverse. So there is no passion right now, moving forward in this situation, which is going to require maybe the new beginning so that you can get into happiness, close out this cycle with the Wheel of Fortune, and do it in with communication, or maybe there's going to be all of this coming towards you, to close out a cycle so that you can be happy and move forward. Now, let's go ahead and get into your believe in your own magic messages. The first one we have here is Villain. This is in challenge position. You can always rewrite the story. So this is about you looking at the situation and perhaps needing to take a different point of view with it, come into a higher perspective on a situation. This is an 11 card as well. And maybe this is about you, perhaps, because you need to look at the situation differently and not villainize someone or not villainize yourself in the situation, right? So really, this is the challenge. Are you willing to change your perspective? Are you on yourself or others involved in the situation? See things in a new way. That's what I'm getting there. And that's your challenge position. Next, we have Princess. You can be your own knight. So this is about you standing on your own 2 feet, coming in and being your own rescuer. You don't need somebody else to do it. Or maybe that's the villainizing that you've been doing. You've felt like, nobody was there to support you. And so therefore you're going to do it all alone kind of thing. And maybe that's what you really need to reconsider. Maybe that's not what you're supposed to be doing. But also this is a 1. So you've got an 11 and a 1, which is 111. And then you've got 4 4. So these are numbers you might want to look up. But what I want to say here too is, once you get a different perspective on the situation, maybe you realize that you can either be your own knight and rescue yourself out of the situation, get yourself out of your head if you are the person who is all up in their head with this, the one who's the wounded person, the one who is the 8 of Wands all up in their head kind of thing. I'm sorry, 8 of Swords. Yeah, 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords with that mental prison going on, right? But maybe you can rescue yourself out of the situation, and look at the situation completely different, because your last message is storm. Every hurricane comes to an end. And so this is about perhaps things moving forward, and moving forward in a calmer way, because you've been in the storm, and you're like, I'm tired of this storm. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of how things have gone. I'm tired how this whole thing has transpired, is what I'm getting. Now let's go ahead and get into your pure magic oracle messages. And the first one we have here is Witch's Wounds, Remedy, Magic Medicine, Magical Medicine, Sacred Heart, Another Day. Now we'll go ahead and read these messages, because again, I don't know these cards like that, so I always read these messages. So, Witch's Wounds. Cauldron, body, hearth, or bowl. We use various vessels to spin out magic, and then drink the tonics, spells of love and delight. What remedy do you seek? You have all you need at the reach of your hand. Your heart is the wellspring to nature's abundance as you connect with love and grace. Do not fear a life of danger or suffering, but instead fear a life of no growth. Embrace the power that arises from pain and the beauty that flowers after darkness withdraws from its kiss. Using the ingredients of holy medicine and remedy is the answer to the peace you seek. We all have tears to shed in life. The great works of poetry, art, and beauty have all been born from broken hearts. But broken hearts pave the way for healing and the return to joy. Your scars tell stories of troubled times, but they are also the faces of your courage. A cauldron requires the 4 natural elements of life in order for it to work: earth for balance, fire for heat, air to breathe, and water to stir your power into. Go to the nearest body of water and gather your friends and bards in circles, offering your tears to the water's depths. This card is a reminder that sometimes we repeat our lessons so we can continue to master our heart. Do not abuse the mind or spirit or doubt that things will ever change. Whether you or another is learning deeply, be still and remember to be patient. Pure wisdom. You are the vessel of experience, and your heart is a cauldron of power and change. Craft the psychic golden crown and place it atop your heart. You are worthy of redemption. You are worthy of healing and peace. Refrain from annoyance or anxious impatience. All things are carried out in nature's process. When we prioritize our work and push away our aches for another day, we rob the spirit of healing. Follow your intuition. Pains are not meant to stay forever. Tend to your wounds and ensure they do not fester into something bigger. So this is perhaps maybe you are still needing some kind of healing about something. Again, seeing things correctly, understanding, bringing back your passion, bringing back who you are authentically as an individual, as a person in this world. Next, we have pyrokinesis, debate, rage, revolution, attention. We have 27 here. That was a 9. This is a 9. How do you handle the fire inside you? Are you in control of your element, or is it on the verge of exploding into the world? We all start with a balance of masculine and feminine duality, a yin and yang of sorts. The unbalanced masculine sits down at the table and decides that unemotional arguments are rational and good. In this thinking, the feminine is looked upon as an over emotional and irrational, but this is purely the mind of an unbalanced masculine obsessed with control and holding deep internal fear. What happens then when we need the emotional to step forward and fight with passion for life itself? This is when pyrokinesis grows. Divine rage explodes and unleashes its raw, oppressed wrath, demanding attention for all who feel her courage. Pure wisdom, witches, brethren, hags. These titles have a feminine connotation and, when used in sour context, become curses thrown to those who fail to understand the purpose of the wild power, but no longer. Call on the wild flame within and allow your energies to channel with unbalanced rage. Take a stand and burn down the building of corrupt values, goddesses and spirits such as Kali, Anat, Hel, as Ruli, and even Joan of Arc step forward as icons of command and battle. You are guided to call on the courage from within and make a stand for your community, minority, and sacred heart. You have lessons to teach once you make way for the warrior within to claim your place at the table. If you are being bullied, coerced, oppressed, or misjudged, now is the time to make your choices and lead where others will not go. Create with wild fever and spill your magic into the world to inspire others to let their flames release in the name of change and renewal. To me, this is about activism. This is about you stepping into your power and perhaps leading the charge when it comes to this change, when it comes to the rage, the fire that needs to burn and destroy things of oppression and of times where people are not valued as individuals within their own right, within, whether they're a male or a female. It's not really about that. And it can be, don't get me wrong, because there is still a great deal of inequality between men and women in this world. But um, this is about making a stance for those things that you feel very strongly about, and that will no longer be part of the oppression of any way of anyone. And so this is really, really a very beautiful, very, very fiery, passionate energy. And I think it's interesting because you had, quite a few cards here, and I thought it was interesting that they talked about the divine masculine and how they express themselves. Also in this passage. So I think this is a very interesting time for you, Virgo, and that you really, really need to come into balance, come into understanding all the parts of you, and then also like using that cauldron, if you will, and mixing those together in the combination that's going to, meet your highest good as you move forward. Beautiful, beautiful, interesting, very interesting. Let's go ahead and get into the next message. This is an 8. So you have 9, 9, 8, 11, 1, and 8 again if you take the 4, 4. So you've got a lot of 8, so that's important here. We've got Bridget, number 25. Psychic Flames, 33. Psychic Milk, 333. Sacred Milk, Druid Magic. A goddess of the Celtic pantheon, according to the legend, Bridget was the daughter of a pagan Irish king and Pictish slave who converted to Christianity. She is also referred to as Bride in Scotland and Brigitannia in England. Even before her birth, her story was littered with magical omens and divine signs. Her mother gave birth to Bridget at sunrise, while literally at the threshold of her home, with one foot on either side. When Bridget was still a babe, a druid witnessed three fine angels anointing the child with oil and sprinkling her body with holy water. The druid took her in and raised her on milk from a magical cow. Today, Bridget is the patroness of poetry, medicine, divination, and craftsmanship, and she is venerated at shrines, churches, and wells. She is invoked for fertility, prosperity, healing, and prophecy. The survival of her legacy echoes so strongly throughout history that her path is said to overlap with various legends, including the famed wizard Avalon, Merlin himself, and it is hotly debated that the Saint Bridget of Ireland is, in fact, the canonized identity of the goddess herself. When Irish and Scottish indentured servants were deported to Haiti during the 17th century, Bridget is said to have transformed and become Maman Bridget in the Voodoo pantheon. Even in that form, she invoked for protection of children. Her visage, her visage is represented by the hearth, fire, and perpetual flame, and she is often worshipped in conjunction with the god Cernunnos. She is instinctively recognized for her fiery red hair resembling the sacred fire she was anointed into at birth. Her feast days are the 1st and 2nd of February, and in Ireland it is traditional to craft a St. Bridget cross from the stem of a juncus flower, also commonly known as rushes. Pure wisdom. Mother and midwife to all beings on earth, Bridget arrives in the name of the divine and extends her arms to you in embrace. She grants your health and healing, works deeply within the chakras that govern expression, compassion, and sacred connection. She reminds us to place importance on creative liberty and to discover the power in a vulnerable heart. The triple goddess walks towards you from the forest and sends out her eternal flame to you. The protective warmth of life is returning, and joy is soon to come. Her breath restores life to the dead and offers wisdom to those who are able to shed their ego. So, this perhaps is about a transformation that's taking place and an ego death as well, that is going to allow you to have a new lease on life, and to see things in a totally different way than you are currently, Virgo. Now, let's go ahead and move on to your next card. We have number 14. So this is 5, this is 7. I'm sorry, yeah, 7, 9, 9, 11, 1, and 8. And this is 5, we have 3, and then we have 10. Okay, so number 14, which is syphils. Well, often mistaken for traditional fairies, sylphs are an older, wiser counterpart of the fairy family, much larger in size than the fae. Sylphs also take on similar appearance to humans and have large wings. Rarer to encounter than gnomes or other magical elements, sylphs are said to hold incredible spiritual intelligence that allows them to shift energy at will. They also have the ability to shape weather patterns on Earth. Sylphs move freely throughout the earth, enjoying the space of wide and open areas in nature. When the air quickens with electric frequencies, sylphs gather in invisible council. Can you feel their presence? As as governs to the element of air, they foresee the state of purity we take for granted. When toxicity begins to form, polluting the atmosphere, they appear to sound the alarm for action to those attuned to the sight. There are millions of creatures inhabiting the world, and as beings of conscious and self awareness, it is our duty to fight for the lives of the other beings sharing our space. Pure wisdom, sylphs have come to speak to you and offer their magic of purity and wisdom for you to claim and use. You have been chosen to stand with the magical beings of flight and offer your own magic to create change in the environment you reside within, both magically and atomically. Air is precious, and our energy impacts it in ways that we cannot yet fully imagine. Do you know how to purify the atmosphere of your home or land? Now is the time to pay attention, be mindful of energetic waste and debris, and ask yourself if you are contributing to the toxicity or working to eradicate it. Be mindful of your eco footprint and take steps to lessen the impact of daily pollution. Do not wait until air becomes too thick and dangerous to breathe. Follow the calling now and see to it you become part of the revolution of change and shift the world into a cleaner, better state than when we arrived. Sylphs also impart a message to be clear with intent and virtue in action, thought, and presence. Begin to diffuse stagnant debris and learn to treat all environments with respect and care. Everything is alive in vibration, and thus we must pay respect to their presence and harmony. So, this is about perhaps being, again, we had that fiery energy for you to be an advocate for oppression, but also perhaps being an environmentalist or animal, something to do with an advocacy of some sort. This is speaking to the environment you're in, and also really raising that vibration, not only with your own energy, but also to make sure you're not contributing to the toxicity of the world and the ecosystem. And so just really, really understanding, that, as you move forward, and as you receive this renewal, this understanding, this bigger picture, this different way of looking at things, that this is truly going to, cause that fire, that rage, that energy to come up in you. And I think about a Kundalini awakening too, because that's also a very fiery experience, that brings that, as well. Now let's go ahead and move into number 12, which is your levitation card. As it requires belief to become weightless, despite taught conditions, levitation is a skill in controlling the physics of gravity to arise with weightless form. The art of levitation is an ability that has historical roots in the early times of antiquity, when witches flew to attend nocturnal Sabbaths, and mystics and monks hovered meters above the ground, deep in silent meditation. Levitation isn't an ability of luxury, but rather one of necessity to recognize the full capacity of our spiritual being. To discover you can rise when others stay bound by no means is a small feat. The trick to mastering levitation comes not from controlling air, but becoming like air. The art is simple. You only gain freedom from the binds that once deeply from the binds once you deeply accept you were born of spirit and thus born to fly, even if for just a moment of life's fleeting time. Pure wisdom message: levitation calls for you to release yourself from the old roads of past pain and memories and elevate your energy and mind towards higher ground. Are you staying in the thickness of ego, or are you able to see the truth and free yourself from the grasp of collective ignorance? When you release yourself, you can choose where to land. Make your own freedom and journey to your own truth. Take in the magical ability of levitation to see to it that if a wall stands in your way, you can rise and fly over it, or see another way from the better vantage point. The old gods call you to raise your powers and stay steady. I don't know why I said deadly. Stay steady as they lift you from disbelief and discouraging limits. Your body and soul are merging into new energies to harness and weave through your new life. Enjoy the thrill of new heights and master your balance as you are guided forward. So this is great, because this is, to me, definitely an ascension here going on for you as well, so that not only can you see things differently, but you can maneuver differently. So this is, to me, one of your gifts as well that's going to be showing up for you, Virgo. Now we have number 19, which is the Jinn. And I just read this for another sign. I want to say that was Cancer. So maybe you have Cancer in your chart. So this is this to me equates to the Fool just because of the number here, because this is a 10, which equates to a 1, or which is actually the beginning, the Fool card, right? Now it says creatures of Arabic roots, the Jinn are spirits made of air and fire, whose existence has been intrinsically woven in the other pagan beliefs throughout history. Neither innately good or evil, the lines between demons and Jinn are often blurred, embedding their enigmatic image even further. They are said to have existed before the arrival of human beings and are blessed with free will and understanding of good and evil. Described in ancient magical grimoires, the jinn are called upon in ritual and ceremony for their powers and magical service. It is believed that the jinn were the ones who first taught sorcery to humankind. Found along liminal places, they take residency in the ranges of deserts, ruins, and wilderness. Jinn are invisible spirits but can manifest into any form of being, whether animal, insect, or human. Powerful, destructive, protective, and untamed, we can learn from the spirits of Jinn by understanding how to master the heart we carry. It is the emotion and empathy we can discharge into the world that allows us to do better. Do you correct yourself when casting mental stones of judgment, or are you blissfully naive about the pain that comes from those thoughts? Do you choose to be better and move beyond the wall of knives, or do you stay in the crowded room of ego, cutting everyone at every turn? Jin teaches us about the fragility of the mind and spirit, that our first judgments are but the reactions taught by society, and it's the second thought that determines how we carry ourselves in the world. Pure wisdom: when you cross a line of positivity or negativity, you are responsible for your conscious action. You cannot place blame on another for the choices you make. Be mindful of your next steps and consider the effects of the love or fear you are emitting. So, I think the key point here is really to, number one, be careful of what you're projecting onto others, be careful of your judgments on others as well, and be very, very aware of your intentions and your actions and choices that you're making and fully how those manifest, because you can't hold other people responsible for your decisions and your choices. And so this is about me, basically from my perspective, it's about you taking responsibility for the situation that you're in or are involved with, and then also moving to a place of higher perspective, and then deciding how you want to move forward from there. Let's go ahead and get into your super attractor messages. Now, what I thought was interesting, your first 3 cards came out in the reverse. So let's read those messages. Believing in spiritual guidance gives me certainty at the freedom to keep dreaming, even when I can not yet see the result. So this is about perhaps not believing that you are a manifester, as well as um, maybe still challenged with your relationship with spirit, and just not believing that you're being guided. Also, the other thing too we have here is I am patient, knowing that whatever is of highest good is coming to me. This is about control. So this is about you releasing the will, getting out of your ego and stop trying to control everything, and really stepping into an energy of trust and faith with spirit. We also have my greatest spiritual shifts don't come through force, they come through freedom. And again, this is like that levitation card where you allow your energy to rise, and you do not what came through there, hold on a minute. Yeah, you're not trying to control anything anymore. You're not trying to do anything. You're just releasing the control, and you're just allowing and you are allowing yourself to soar. So the negative thoughts and the negative anything that you've carried for years, you are releasing that, because that's not who you are anymore. You don't have to relive pain. You don't have to go through that anymore. So this is about that purge, that cleansing, that ascension of that release of that, as you move forward, and knowing how your actions are very, very important, and knowing that the steps you take moving forward will be just as important. Now, we also have I choose to be a super attractor and have unwavering faith in the universe, which I think I want to say here, what I think is great about this is that you had negatives and then you turn around and you come right back into unwavering faith. So this is almost like a before and a after kind of thing here. We have, when I cultivate a spiritual connection, I can trust the universe no matter what. And again, this is all about faith and trust in the universe, that you're being guided, that you don't have to control anything. You can just let things be, let things flow. And then the last few messages we have here. I am kind and loving towards others while creating clear boundaries that protect my good feeling emotions. So this is about not allowing anyone to project their negativity on you any further, and nipping that in the bud. And then also, even if it's your own self trying to do that, you recognize it, you stop it, and you nip it in the bud as well. Now we also have, I trust that my powerful intentions combined with my faith are enough to allow my vision to come to reality. This is about manifestation power, believing, trusting, and letting it go. We've got, I believe I'm worthy of feeling good. So again, really, really doing away with past thinking that has made you feel less than, or anyone else for that matter, that made you feel less than. Because I'm getting a couple of different thoughts where it was either people who tried to do this to you. There's a sense of oppression here that you are definitely moving away from. And you know, the boundaries again is about not allowing people to just do or say anything to you, be any way with you, that kind of thing. I believe I'm worthy of feeling good. And then also working within your own self, shutting down that record that's been played in the past. You know, you get to rewrite the story, which was your first card in challenge position here. So this is about you rewriting the story. No, this is not how it's going to go moving forward. I know how I want it to go forward. This is about manifesting too, and understanding the energy you need to be in to manifest positively instead of negatively. And then the last one is the universe powerfully responds the instant I realign with love. So this is you know that your energy is from the heart. And so this is about you renewing that energy in your heart, renewing who you are authentically, to be powerful, and a loving person, but someone who has learned through lessons, that you know, no one is going to hold you down, hold you back, stop you, but also that you have a responsibility in that power, that you know, you have to manage yourself, manage your thoughts, manage your thinking, because whatever you think manifests, and understanding the power you have in that. Also, um, really, really, really beautiful energy for you, Virgo. Much love and light, Lady T.